Well, as you can see here, my main expertise is in the automotive field. I graduated with a technical, with the associate degree in automotive technology years ago, and I got 20 years of experience working on cars. I've seen them all. I've owned, I think I stopped counting at around, over the years, I owned somewhere around 60 some cars. Um, they'd come and go. I'd pick them up, if I could get them at a reasonable price, and then a lot of times I'd sell them. And even right now, I think I've got one, two, three, four, five, six cars and motorcycle right now as we speak, and they're not for sale. I like to have extras around because they're always really old. I keep whatever I can. I got one nicer Ford that I drive for looks, and this, that, and other. I got a convertible Mustang and stuff like that. Anyway, enough about me. It doesn't matter. I pick them up cheap when I can. So I've had 60 some cars. I've seen them all. We're going to talk about used cars and what to stay away from and what to look for. If you're looking for a used car, and I'm going to get right to the point, and you don't know much about vehicles, Toyota. That's it. Toyota. If you're just going to go out there and you have no idea what you're buying and you have no idea about cars and all you know how to do is take it in for an oil change, you go get yourself a Toyota. That's it. There's no other answer. Sure, there's Honda. Honda is good. It was really good back in the past, but they've had a lot of issues, creeping up on them with trying out these new transmissions and stuff. So when I say one word from all my expertise, 20 some years working on cars, and my most reliable vehicle even is a 2004, 5, I think, or 6, something like that. I can't remember what year my truck is, but it's a Toyota Tundra. Toyota. You'll never have a problem. You change the oil, you'll never have a problem. Go get a Toyota. Don't let anybody talk you into anything else. Don't let the car dealerships talk you into buying some junk. The worst vehicles you can buy in the last 10 years, the worst is Chevy. You stay away from them. A lot of the Chevys were rated some of the worst vehicles of all time in the last 10 years. I think it was called, I don't even know the name of it now. I should have looked it up. It's the worst vehicle of all time, and my buddy had one, and it's unbelievably bad. Stay away from them. Just stay away from GM products. Now, like I said, this is my opinion. You can take it with what you want. There's a lot of mechanics that are probably going to come on here and say that you can always get a good car. You can always run into a good car that was put together properly and it's going to run a long time. Always. But if you're just taking a shot in the dark, you're going to have to go get yourself a Toyota. Anyway, I said enough about Toyota. And you want to stay away from the Chevys. Fords aren't bad. I've seen some bad ones and I've seen some good ones. The newer model Fords seem to be made real simply with they all seem to have the turbochargers now with the EcoBoost engines, and there's been horror stories, but not in the last couple recent years. That's the problem when you're looking for a car. You got to learn all the different years models and the different tweaks they made to the motor. That's the problem. When you're a mechanic, you can look all this stuff up. But when you're just going out looking for a used car, you're never going to be able to understand all the information you need when you're buying a car, and you're not going to get it at the dealership. The first thing that and I'm a used car salesman. I've been a salesman at car lots. I've worked at dealerships. I was one of the number one salesmen of motorcycles in Las Vegas for a couple years. And the moment it's just not allowed. I don't know. It depends on what sales floor you're on, but when a customer wants a car, you're supposed to put them in that car. That's it. You don't try to talk them out of a certain model that they're looking at into another one that you think is better because it's your personal preference. That's a no-go at the dealership. So you go get yourself a Toyota. Anyway, the GMCs the last 20 years, pretty bad. They've been pretty bad. Like I said, I'm not speaking on all the new stuff they got, Now everything's different now, but the last 15 years, they've been trash. Just not good. I've worked on them. They just keep coming back over and over and over. I've worked on them, okay? Jeeps are horrible. They used to be just, they built such a name brand and the company sold, and most people don't know that. They're horrible. Don't touch them. I wouldn't touch a Jeep with a 10-foot pole. Now, if you go get an old inline 4, 6, 8 cylinder from the 4 liters, the 2.5s, the 5.7 from, you're going to get horrible gas mileage, but you're going to get a reliable vehicle. The old Jeeps, the real Jeep. I have nothing against that, but in today's economy, I can't imagine, unless you're a wrench head or a gearhead or whatever, you're going to want to own an old Jeep. They're really easy to work on. I love them, don't get me wrong, but it takes a certain kind of person to drive a rugged old Jeep like that. And a lot of people don't want to do it. They want the modern comforts. They want their Bluetooth, everything else. So today's episode was, you have no choice. Get a Toyota. That's it. You go get a Toyota, and yeah, I know there's some models. I don't know them all, obviously. I don't know everything. There probably are a couple bad ones out there. But for the most part, if you see a Toyota badge and you're buying a Toyota and it's shifting smoothly, and that's another thing. If it's shifting smoothly, if the oil's that here, I guess we can go into, let's talk about if you're looking at a used car and what to watch out for slick salesmen, because I've dealt with them all. I was a number 1 salesman. I've dealt with bad ones and all the tricks of the trade. I've seen it all. Number 1, watch out for new oil. You see new oil, they're trying to cover up some motor. There's a chance they're trying to cover up some motor. Not always. I like to do a lot of oil changes for customers because I know how they are and I don't want them to have any problems. So when they purchase a vehicle from me, but 9 times out of 10, there's a lot of mechanics out there that are doing them to cover up, so they can add additives to the motor to cover up ticking and motor noises. Check the gauge when you show up right away. If you start the car and it's already the vehicle's already just a little warm, it's because they warm that motor up on purpose on you. They're trying to cover up noises. Engine noises love to go away when the vehicle warms up. You get I've seen some hard knocking motors that tick tick tick, and you warm them up just a little bit. You get them up in that 200 degrees, that noise smooths right out, and the customer won't even hear it. 3, you get your head under that car and look for rust. If you stick your head under that car and there's rust in your hair, you're getting rust all over you walk away. The number 1 problem with buying a used car is you're so excited to get something because you're sick of walking, you're sick of taking the bus, you're sick of calling Uber. So you're already at a downfall when you get near the salesman, because you just want to get in a car and have your life go back to the way it was. Well, that's the worst way to look at it. You have to take your time when buying a car, especially today. Don't touch a car with over 150,000 miles. Don't even touch it. I know people say, oh, Toyotas go for 300,000. That my number 1 saying as a mechanic was, as a salesman was, the 200,000 is the new 100,000. There's only very little truth in that. Or if it can make it 200,000, it can make it 300,000. All this stuff is nonsense because, listen, you don't know about the transmission like I do. It's made with clutch plates, okay? They wear out. They got a pad material inside of them. That's how your fluid changes colors from red to dark when you're driving your transmission. The plate material is wearing off. No, 200,000 miles means 200,000 miles. That means that them transmission shifting gears and all them clutch packs are wearing off. You don't know that. I know that. That means you're going to have slippage. So you get the 200,000 miles. Every mile after that is pushing it before you're going in for a transmission rebuild. And I've seen mechanics nowadays trying to rebuild transmissions. You're better off just getting a new transmission. So you're talking $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 out of your pocket. Don't touch a car with over 150,000. Don't touch one. Unless you're a mechanic. But then I don't think you're going to be on my channel. When you show up, you're checking the coolant level. You're watching for bubbles and you run it. You have to run a car. When you show up, you don't just start at the driveway, go around the block. That's the easiest way for a mechanic to sell a vehicle, is to have somebody just go around the block. You're not going to find any of the problems. You have to get on the highway and you have to drive. You have to drive 10, 15 miles if you want to get these one way and then back. And then you maybe even take the city back. You got to get that car at operating temperature hot. And then you get in a parking lot. You don't want to get back anywhere near the person selling the car. You get in a parking lot and open that hood. You're watching for any type of leaking. You're looking for smoke, any type of bubbling in the cooling container. You see any bubbling, that's it. That's a no-go. You open the oil cap when it's running, and if you can smell exhaust and it's popping air out, that's called blow-by. That means that your rings on your piston are wore out, and the compression, when it's pushing your piston down, you're having blow-by go by the rings into your oil pan, and it's coming up through your oil filler neck. So you want to pop that cap, and you'll smell exhaust. Trust me, you'll sometimes, I got a van outside that you can just see, you can take the cap off and you can see it smoking just like it's got 300,000 miles in it. You can just see the exhaust coming right out of the oil filler cap. Check that. Check your, making sure your coolant reservoir is full and that there's no bubbles. Bubbles are a telltale sign of head gasket problem. You see any type of bubbling, any type of issues in there, you watch out. Spongy lines, stuff like that for radiator lines. But I know you guys aren't watching my channel because you know all this stuff, so I can't get too deep into stuff you're looking for. Shifting. Smooth shift. If you can feel that car, and you can feel it. Say you're driving and you're up into the 3,500 and it really has to go that extra 4,000, 4,500 RPM to shift, you know that you got something going on in your shifting solenoids. Don't touch the car. Smooth shifts. Ooh. It should be smooth. Don't talk yourself into believing it's normal. Don't listen to a mechanic. It's not normal to feel a car buck when it shifts at all. At all. It should be smooth. Personally, I'm a manual transmission guy, but I know nobody wants to talk about it. I'm not even going to bring it up. That's probably that's for advanced kind of drivers. Well, what else am I thinking? Like I said, make sure the car ain't warm. That's the trick they're going to use. That's the big one. You turn that car on and that gauge is warm. They're going to tell you, well, we just wanted to make sure the battery was good, or we just wanted to make sure, that it would start, the battery was good, or that, they'll have all these excuses. You just walk away. Something ain't right. Who's going to waste all their time to do all that? If when you're buying a used car, you're buying the person that's selling it. That's the number one rule in salesmen. You're buying the person that's selling you the car. That's what we're taught as salesmen. They're buying me. Am I honest? Am I an honest person? That's what you want to look for. You're buying the person more than the car, right? I've had some of the richest people, and I mean richest, and I'm talking, I went to buy $2,000 cars, and they're the biggest shysters. They were the biggest shysters I ever dealt with. Some of the poorest people that you would think, there's no way that this person's selling me this decent deal. I got the best deals. Some of the richest people, I go to $1 million house, and I'm not even kidding you, $1 million right on the water to buy a $2,500 car. And they were the biggest shysters with the most hidden problems because they got away with it because you're buying the person. You don't look as hard when you go to $1 million house. Remember that. It's just the way it is. This is a true story. I'm not going to get into any buying story. Maybe I'll get into some horror stories in a different type of thing, but this is about buying used cars. I've been broken down on the highway after buying cars. Blah, blah. I have stories for days for that. Toyota. Just get a Toyota. You listening to me? You hearing all the trouble you could go through if you don't get a Toyota? I can't remember a time I've seen somebody buy a Toyota and have a problem. My sister called me. She kept saying, thinking about buying another Hyundai. I have nothing against Hyundai. They'll get you to and from point A to point B for a very long time, but they're gonna need strut replacement. They're gonna need ball joints. They're gonna need tie rods. I'm talking, I must have done in 200,000. It's just a routine maintenance part for them. If you can't replace ball joints, you can't replace tie rods, you can't replace strut struts and mounts, don't touch them. It's going to nickel and dime you to death. That $20,000 you save on the dotted line, it's going to come right back and get you if you don't know how to do these jobs. If you do know how to do your tie rods, ball joints, blah, 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 get them. They're fine. They run good. I've seen the motors go 300,000 miles consistently. I really have. The transmission and motors, I've seen them go for a long time. Problem is, the ball joints are every 25,000 miles, you're going to be clicking. Click, clack, click, clack down the road. You're going to be changing them. That's all there is to it. They're not hard. Not hard to change. I can do them in my sleep. I can do them in about probably 15 minutes. I could probably put a whole shock tower or a whole strut tower in them in 25 minutes flat. My eyes closed at this point. But if you're not me and you have no experience, don't touch them. So I told her, because I'm always working, I told her, I don't mind working on cars, but she asked me, what should I get? And I said, Toyota. And she did it. She drove off the lot, went straight to Toyota and bought a RAV4. She's had it now for at least 5 years. She hasn't even had to change the brake pads, and she's driving it every day. Not one time has she called me. There hasn't been one single problem, and she uses it. I mean, she uses it. She overloads it. I'm talking, beats it. She can beat up her cars. Toyota. There's no option but Toyota if you don't know anything about cars. And that's where I was at today. As you can see here, I have the perfect backdrop for a talk show on cars. And I thought, well, maybe people want to talk about used cars. And I'm trying to just think here, brainstorm on what else problems, You're buying a used car. The number one thing I heard from people selling used cars with problems in the suspension, it needs new brakes. If they're telling you it needs new brakes, it needs a lot more than new brakes, because that means they don't even have they aren't even responsible enough to replace the brakes when they are going out. So do you think they're responsible enough to take care of any of the other parts on the back? That is the number one no-go when somebody says they need brakes. Oh, it just needs brakes because it's making grinding and whatever. If they drive their vehicle to grinding, they don't change their oil. Walk away. Trust me. Walk away. These are what you call mechanic special cars. I've dealt with them, and you're just going to keep going through. It's not. By the time I get done with them cars that I get for $500, $750, $1,000, you think you're getting a deal. You're replacing everything. Struts. You're replacing. Don't touch them. If a person says it just needs brakes, they're grinding. That shows what kind of a person they are. That they don't change their brakes, that they'd rather run the car into the ground and try to sell it off and get another one. That's okay. That's who they are. They're telling you who they are in the sales tactic right there. They're telling you. Listen to them. When they're telling you they don't change their brakes, they don't change their oil, they're trying to tell you not to buy their car. Don't buy their car. Now, if you're spending enough money, you're going to take the car to a mechanic. You know what I mean? It's just not, you get it checked out. But nowadays, even mechanics, they're horrible. I've dealt with them. Try to check the frame rails. Get under there. You got a couple frame rails. They're solid metal under the car. Make sure they're there. Make sure they're straight. I know that's easier said than done. That's not really something that just a random person is going to be able to know. Other cars that aren't bad, and I shouldn't even be getting into this because I really shouldn't. But the Mustang model between 2000, I've had multiple, and that's the only reason I'm putting them in here. It's 4.0, I think, is the motor size. I've had about 3 of them. They're all made it to 300,000 miles. Almost everybody I ran in circles with that had a Mustang from 2000, I forgot the body style, but it goes through about 2010, 9-10, and then they run. You can really beat them, but they're 2-seater cars, and if you're in cold climate, and the tops like to rip on them, but that's a really great starter car if you got a kid in high school that really, and you're in a warm climate and they want a nice looking car. The 2000s Mustangs in there with the nice body style, 4-liter V6. They get about 25 miles to the gallon. You can't go wrong with them. That's another one. I could go on and on with different various, I can pick and choose cars for you guys, but that's a mechanic thing, like I can tell, I can go to Ford and say, okay, this was a good model, certain Ford Fusions were fantastic. Some of the #1 cars ever made for longevity, the 2.5 liter, certain years, right? in there, you can get a fantastic Fusion for that'll run forever. 300,000-400,000 miles. I see them at. But then you can get, I forgot the other engine size, where you're having nothing but problems. So this is like that's why when people ask what used car to get, I just, at this point in life, I say, don't even look at anything besides a Toyota. If it doesn't say Toyota, don't even touch it. Don't even touch it. That's it. I could go on for hours on this talk. But I guess I'll end there and say, just with a recap, you're talking, make sure it's got the oil level. And if the